What is up, clean freaks and filthy friends alike? Filthy Dan coming at you for another little film discussion. Today, we're not doing a review, but we're going to be taking a look at 10. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of what I think are some of the greatest final girls in horror. I know not everybody's going to agree with this list. There will be some that I'm clearly missing that some won't be too happy with. There will be certainly some surprise entries that are going to throw people for a loop. But there's definitely going to be quite a few that are going to be a little, really, Dan? Why the hell are you doing that? My response to that, I'm sorry. But I have it on pretty good authority that this isn't going to be the only top 10 final girls list that I have coming out. A lot of that's going to be to clear the air. To some degree, I don't have these girls in any particular order. For the most part, it's really just the level I enjoy watching them on screen, and I don't know. And I'd say the top five really is where it gets to the real badass level. And really, I think that's what this list is. Like, these are just 10 badass final girls. So without further ado, let's get this dog and pony show on the road. So coming in at number 10, I have one that I'm sure is going to surprise some people. And this is one that I'm surprised people don't even talk about really a whole lot. That is going to be Judy from Night of the Demons. This girl is the badass. Like, she doesn't really seem it at first. When we first meet her, she's the girl next door. She's the good girl. She may or may not have fucked before the film. We don't get any clear indication on that. So that one, jury's out on that. But when it comes time for her to face the demons, like, they have her cornered down in the fucking crematorium in the basement. She's not taking this shit. She's like, hey, we could either die here tonight, Roger, or I got a better idea. She grabs the fucking gas pipe, gets a fucking lighter, builds a fucking flamethrower, and just burns the shit out of the Angela and Stooge demons. That was some badass shit. Also, she's not a quitter, and like, this little girl, this fucking woman, she goes through hell. She goes through hell to survive. And there were quite a few times where she had it pretty close. Of course, being that she's the blonde that we focus on early on, she's going to survive. That's just simple science and facts and shit. So, Judy from Night of the Demons, number 10. At number 9, this one, I feel like calling this one a final girl is a little off kilter, but we'll definitely say final woman on this one. That is going to be Dee Wallace as Donna from Cujo. Again, very much like Judy, she is put through a fucking hell of a situation. First of all, she's being attacked by this fucking dog, isolated in a car with her kid. Her kid is starting to get really sick from all the heat in the car, malnutrition. Like, she puts up a fucking fight to save not only her kid but herself. And when she does get out of the car to fight the dog Cujo, she doesn't fucking quit. Like, she attacks him with a baseball bat and ultimately has to fucking bam down Fido. Like, shoots him. Fucking Dee Wallace was just a badass in Cujo. So another one I have reviewed and really do like her character in that one. Coming in at number 8, this one could be reason for debate. We will see now or later. But no, at number 8, I have Sarah Connor from the first Terminator film. Now, there are two types of people in the world. Those who say Terminator is a horror movie, and those who are wrong. The first Terminator is a horror movie with a great amount of action sci-fi in it. I mean, Jason, like, my buddy Jason always brings up the point, if the police station massacre had been done with an axe, it wouldn't be up for debate. If he was going around with a knife or an axe killing people, and he was still a fucking robot, nobody would question the fact that it's a horror movie. It's a fucking horror movie. It just happens to be he shoots people. But Sarah Connor goes through some shit that would just destroy most people mentally. Like, she's told that she has to survive not only because, well, fuck, who doesn't want to survive? But she is the mother of the leader of the resistance of the future of the free world. There were a lot of those in that statement. That should show you just how important she is. But no, Sarah Connor is a fucking badass. Linda Hamilton plays her flawlessly. She's just this nice young lady who's trying to exist about her life. And all of a sudden comes one man trying to kill her, who turns out to not be a man, but a machine. And the man who comes to save her so that she can create the fucking leader of the future. And when it comes time for her to fight against the Terminator personally, after her protector, her lover, is dead, dude, she does everything she can to survive, and she fucking destroys that motherfucker. Sarah Connor easily belongs on this list. Coming in at number 7, this one, I know she's at number 7, but she's my fave. That's going to be Stretch. I mean, who the fuck does not love Stretch? I know there's people who don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, but I adore that film, and I adore Stretch even more. She's awesome. She's got, for one, she's a fucking DJ. That's just awesome. I love the fact that she's that rocker girl. That's already a fucking winning point right there. But the way she's able to manipulate Leatherface into not killing her and letting her live, and then fighting off against Chop Top there at the top of the little Texas Frontierland mountain, that was just some badass shit. And the way she's able to try and evade them while she's going through the Frontierland, I mean, she's a fucking badass. Sure, she screams a lot, but Caroline Williams fucking kills it at Stretch. That's probably a phrase I'm going to use a lot throughout the course of this one. But Stretch easily goes at number 7. She's my fave. But yeah, she's very smart and kicks major ass. And speaking of kicking ass, that might happen to me for where I'm placing this one. This might be too low for some folks. It's certainly pretty low, I think, but it hurts me to put Nancy Thompson at number 6. She's still in this first run, so she's not doing too bad. But Nancy Thompson, what can I say about Nancy Thompson that has not been said before? She's badass. She understands that, hey, some weird shit's going on. We're all dreaming about this guy. She takes it upon herself to learn about booby traps and shit. And she realizes that she can pull him out of the dream. The fact that she's going that far to do that is fucking amazing. Like, I feel like I could do a whole video on Nancy Thompson. But the way she brings Freddy out, tries to destroy him, it's just fucking amazing. And she feels like a really real person. Probably the most so far. I would say there's probably 2 or 3 more on this list right here that kind of give Nancy that run for the money, being a very real feeling person. Heather Langenkamp just fucking destroys, and I mean, she fights Freddy fucking Krueger, pulls him into the real world, has the whole house set up to fucking knock his dick in the dirt. I'd say she succeeded pretty well at that. So, extra points to her. Coming in at number 5, this one might be a bit of a cheat, but we have not 1, not 2, but 3 beauties on this one. That is, of course, the stunt women from Death Proof. Abernathy, Kim, and Zoe. I mean, they're fucking badasses. Like, you got Kim and Zoe, who are stunt women. Abernathy's hair and makeup dresser, if I remember correctly. But they're just fucking around. Like, Kim and Zoe are trying to play Ship's Master, I believe it was called, where Zoe ties herself to the hood of the car, and they're just having fun. Like, really dangerous, stupid stunt, you know? Abernathy's in the back seat because she's like, well, You're gonna let me tag along, blah blah blah. So they do, you know. And this is in the second half of the movie. There's a first set that didn't quite make it. But anyway, fucking they come across Kurt Russell's character and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna win here. He's trying to fucking slamming into the car, trying to knock Zoe off. But once they get to a certain point where he almost had killed them, and Zoe especially, they come back and they're like, we ain't taking this shit from him. Like, Kim shoots at him, that kind of sends him running, and Zoe jumps out of the bushes, and they're like, okay, it's time to chase this motherfucker down, and they fucking do. There's a fucking badass car chase that's just, it's fucking phenomenal, the car chase, I thought. And sure, this isn't a movie that a lot of people like, I find, and again, there's a lot of people who won't say that it's a horror movie. It's horror. It's, instead of a knife, it's a fucking car. There are elements in this film that make it horror. But when they finally chase down Kurt Russell and they pull him out of the car and just start fucking stomping him to death and punching him to death, that's just fucking badass. These girls don't take no shit, and they definitely deserve their place here at number 5. Number 4. This is another real feeling one. That is going to be Jess Bradford from Black Christmas. Now, this is a very complex character, very, very well-built character. I mean, she's a pregnant college student who doesn't want to have the baby, and it's, for 1974, that, I'm sure, just had audiences divided immediately. But the fact that she's strong-willed, she's not a pushover, she's not taking shit from Peter or Billy, and when it comes time for her to go against Billy, I mean, she does a pretty good job. And just the complexity of the character is really what puts her on this list. I mean, she's not taking no shit. She really, in a lot of ways, helped set the trend for what Final Girls would become in the future. Like, she's probably I'd say one of the 3 template Final Girls, 3 or 4, maybe 5 template Final Girls, but she's easily in that list of the template, who are really the reason why we have the Final Girls the way they are now. For legacy points and the forward thinking of her character, and just, again, the complexity of her character, puts Jess Bradford here at number 4. Coming in at number 3, here's where shit gets really predictable, and no, it's not Laurie Strode. It is your girl, my girl, the world's girl, Sydney fucking Prescott. What to say about Sydney Prescott that has not been said? She is initially introduced as the kind of the girl next door type again, and very real feeling. She's probably one of the more real characters in Scream, I feel. Like, where everyone else is like very, yeah, this movie, that, blah blah blah. I mean, that was kind of the whole thing about Scream, was the self-awareness. But she was really kind of, I'd say she felt the more grounded out of the bunch, and she falls into sort of the template of a final girl, where it's like, she's smart, she even kind of jokes about the whole final girl thing and victim girls, and they do something with the whole archetype. They have her and Billy fuck, so you think, oh, she fucked up, she can very possibly die now. No, she does not. And what really makes Sydney even more awesome, obviously, is that she doesn't only live through the first film, but the second, the third, and the fourth. And she very much matures throughout each film. Like, she gets another level of complexity with each time she has to survive this bullshit attack from these goddamn crazy motherfuckers. That it really shapes her into the character we get by the fourth film. And we will see how they carry her on here in Scream 5. And as much as I love Sydney Prescott, I feel that she is starting to hit that Laurie Strode level of getting long in the tooth. Yes, I love her, but to some degree, I want to see them close the book on Sidney Prescott in a done with respect, mind you. I don't want to see them do it just for shock value, like fucking H2O and Resurrection, not H2O, but Resurrection. Fuck that movie. But no, Sidney Prescott is just fucking great. Very much deserves to be in anybody's top 10, top 5, even top 3 of Final Girls. There's not a whole lot to say about her that hasn't been said already, but again, the journey that we get with her is what really helps elevate her to a higher point on this list. Very deserved. Sidney Prescott, number 3. Coming in second place, some would argue this should be number 1. But I had to put her at number 2 only because I felt number 1 in this category was just a little better. And that's going to be Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. Now, she is one of the first Final Girls to really get in the position of, I'm not taking the shit. I am not taking this shit. Like, she's got the alien on board, and she's fucking fighting it to the bitter end. She survives, goes into the second film, and realizes that, hey, 50 some odd years into the future, and her daughter has since passed, which was kind of something that we get a little bit of in the first film, that she's not going to see her daughter for a while. And come Aliens, her daughter has since passed, and she becomes a maternal figure for this new girl, Newt. That was a pretty cool dynamic that really shows that not only can Ripley be a badass, but she can be a very caring person. Alien 3, say what you will about the film. I'm not really going to talk about that one too much. I plan on covering those eventually. But no, being the only woman in that situation, she fucking kicked ass. I mean, again, say what you will. And even down to the bitter end of that fucking movie, she was fucking great. Ellen Ripley is another one where it's like I could and probably should do a whole video just talking about her as a character, but she really is one of the first ones that people tend to think about when it comes to who is a badass final girl? Who's a final girl that really just fucking kicks ass, takes names, doesn't take no shit, especially no xenomorph shit. Ellen Ripley, number 2, man. Sigourney Weaver kicks ass. And coming in at number 1 is going to be who else but Ginny. Come on. It had to be Ginny. She, like, her name was, I think, the second one I wrote down on the list of 30 final girls that I had wrote. So it's like she's definitely got to go in this first entry. And again, deservedly so. She speculates on what Jason Voorhees may be. And thinking that everyone's like, Jason's a legend. She's kind of like, no, I'm taking this shit kind of serious. And she's also got she's good with the child psychology shit. They established that really early on, so good on the movie for that. Gonna be talking about her in depth here very soon. Maybe in depth, maybe not. But I'm definitely going to be touching more on her here very soon in the spring. So look out for the Friday series. But Ginny holds her own against Jason Voorhees in his first outing. She manipulates him in the third act of the film in a really smart way. So she gets a lot of extra brownie points on that. And she showed that she doesn't need a man to hold her ass the whole way through. Paul, for all his valiant effort, was kind of the an example of a more passive final guy where she was the active final girl in terms of kicking ass and taking the names in regards to their self-defense and their preserving their will to live. So for that, Ginny is number fucking 1. She's fucking badass. What else can I say about it without saying everything that I plan to say in the spring? So there was that, guys. Top 10 final girls. There will most likely be another entry, maybe two more entries, where I kind of talk about some other ones. And again, these are, for the most part, in no particular order. Like, these are really just final girls that I think are fucking badass and just want to give them their fair shake. And I mean, to some degree, I did rank them, but I didn't. So the top 10 aspect could be a little like, really, man? But all the same, 10 badass final girls who deserve the recognition. There's going to be 10 more. I don't know when, but it'll happen. So yeah, I know that again, not everybody's going to agree with this one. And there's probably going to be a good amount of, but where's so and so? Why isn't so and so on your list? Again, wait for the second video because there will be a second. Believe me on that. I know I'm kind of teasing it, but let's just confirm there will be a second video and most likely a third one. There will be a sequel, folks. But no, all the same, thank you all for watching. Please be sure to like and share this video. And if you have not already, make sure that you stab the fuck out of that subscribe button. Helping push to 200 here. We are going to get there. And if you're feeling extra filthy, go ahead. Leave a comment down below. Let me know who your 10 final girls are. And tell me who you think I missed. And maybe bet on who's going to be popping up in the next video. And as always, stay filthy, friends.